When I lived in Orange County, there was a place, and I'm given to understand that it's still there, called South Coast Plaza. It was a shopping mall in sort of a horseshoe shape. And if you entered in one side of the horseshoe, it was the proletariat side of South Coast Plaza. There was a rainforest cafe with talking animatronic animals as you ate, and a Thomas Kincaid gallery, and a Hello Kitty store, that sort of thing. But if you followed the horseshoe to the other side, as you went, the architecture, the decor, even the patterns on the floor would shift imperceptibly if you weren't keyed into this sort of thing, to discourage a certain type from coming too far into that other side. Because the other side of South Coast Plaza was the affluent side of South Coast Plaza. The rich young rulers of Orange County would parade around doing their shopping, and there would be these stores that were as big as some of the apartments that I've lived in, all white and sleek and glossy on all sides, and in the center would be a single rack of maybe 15 articles of clothing, and you would go in and you would look at one of the articles of clothing, and it cost as much as your car had cost you. I loved this side of South Coast Plaza. I had sort of a holly-go-lightly thing about me at that period in my life. And not that I could afford anything over there, but I sort of like to bask in the beauty, the glow of the beauty of that side. My values have changed a little since then. But I remember one year, on a Saturday evening, the Saturday before Christmas, in a year when Christmas fell early in the week, as it does this year, I decided to go to South Coast Plaza to see if it were going to be as bad as everybody had warned me, to see if the crowds were as huge as everybody said. And so I went. And they were right. It was shoulder-to-shoulder people going up and down those hallways, totally focused on what they were doing, like this percolator of flu season. And I found this bench in the middle. I was the only person sitting on a bench. And I felt like a rock in the middle of a stream with all of this humanity flowing around me. And as I sat there, I had an epiphany that has grown over the years for me, that for those of us who celebrate Christmas, there are two holidays that fall under the heading of Christmas. One is the great beast that we have come to know, and at this point in time, it's cliche to even remark on how commercial Christmas has become. We all know it, we've all discussed it. But it is the expectation of the avarice and consumerism and the merchants making a good showing off of people's sentimentality. The second one, it is also cliche at this point, we've all discussed it, to bemoan and bewail the loss and diminution of this holiday in the eyes of our culture, the birth of the Christ child, and togetherness, unity, brotherhood, peace, all that sort of thing. I'm going to offer a little piece of unsolicited advice while I give my announcement. And it is that I have found in this time where we have been taught there ought to be so much feasting and fullness and largesse that austerity is really the key to maintaining good mental health at this time of year, being able to say no and cut out some of the non-essentials in one's life. And I am not going to be making another video until the beginning of the year, at least not one of original content. I find that feasting with family and friends is a very good thing, and one ought to do this, but I find that in the next 2.5 weeks, we have so many things planned that it really behooves one to cut out as much as possible from the rest of their lives because of the demand that we have built for ourselves. We've done this to ourselves. And so this holiday season, my wish for you is a joyful holiday of togetherness, of austerity and simplicity, and of peace. Ta-ta.